Hi everybody, welcome to The Wolf's Den. My name is Adrian Lobo and this is my new YouTube channel. I created The Wolf's Den because it's named after me. As some of you may or may not know, my name means, last name means wolf in Spanish. It is what we're called by in the courtroom, Miss Lobo, and clients have picked up on, colleagues have picked up on calling me Wolf, so it seemed appropriate that the channel be called The Wolf's Den. So that's the reason for the channel's name. But I wanted to at least introduce myself and tell you a little bit about myself. I am a public defender here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have been practicing here for the past 6 years. Prior to that, I came from California, and I was practicing at the public defender's office out there in Riverside County, and I currently am on the sexual assault defense team, but prior to coming to this team where I'm currently at now, I was doing everything when I was in California to misdemeanor jury trials to now doing high-grade felony trials. And starting off when this office in Nevada, we don't have a misdemeanor jury trial right, so every case that goes to trial is a felony in fact, and that those felony trials are anything ranging from, in my experience of trying cases, robberies, home invasions, burglaries, all the way up to sexual assault where I'm at right now, and second chairing cases that are murder cases also as well. So I do have a lot of experience. I think that I was fortunate enough to get in coming to Las Vegas to gain that experience and really, I think, at least hone my trial skills and make sure, that I am competent counsel for my clients. So the whole purpose of starting this channel, though, was to really talk to you guys about, number one, what is a public defender? I mean, what are we? Who are we? What do we do? Why do we do it? Explain some of those things, dispel some of the myths that are about a public defender, myths that clients have, myths that the public has, misconceptions about what our job is and who we are, and also wanting to give some trial commentary to at least local coverage here, because I've noticed that there is very much a disparity in the media coverage here for jury trials, and I can say that confidently because whether it be sitting through private counsel's trials or colleagues' trials that are in my office, I have then come home, turn on the television, and then when I'm watching TV, I see, that they're only giving the pro-prosecution aspect of, what happened in court that day. There's absolutely zero coverage of what the defense arguments were or what was covered on the defense strategy. Maybe it's resources, maybe they don't have the attorneys to cover it. I'm not quite sure, but I think that the public at least deserves to know about it and provide that trial commentary from a defense perspective, and also if it's relevant from a public defender's point of view, also too. But usually they're going to be always in line with one another, whether we're private or whether we're a public defender. Defense strategy is defense strategy, and there are things that divide us in terms of like resources or any of that, but I guess the very first thing then is a public defender is a real attorney, that we are criminal defense attorneys, we are just paid by the government, and that we are the people who are appointed to represent clients who do not have the resources to go out and hire an attorney. So the fourth thing that I want to discuss on the channel is to also bring to light some of those injustices, because I am defending clients that don't have resources. It would be, I think, very naive to say that it doesn't show up in different places in the system. For example, the best way that I can tell you is that a client who has a public defender has a harder time getting out of custody and has a more difficult time in making sure that they stay out of custody, and whereas somebody who has the means to get out, they get lower bail because a judge may know that they are going to be hiring an attorney. So let's talk about some of those injustices that occur in the system, and that we are underfunded, and that we are sometimes we are overburdened, and that we have too many cases, and that I can say that that is all very true. But the attorneys that I at least practice here locally with, and that I have practiced with in California, they go above and beyond and make do with what they've got. And I think that they're some of the finest trial lawyers that I have ever, had the pleasure of practicing with. So with that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about, go right into talking about, what is a public defender. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about something that happened last week. Carrie Kennedy was acquitted of a DUI, and I thought it was very poignant that she said, she came out of the courthouse after receiving her not guilty, and the media was there waiting for her, and that the media walked up to her and they said, how do you feel? What do you think about the verdict? And, just wanted her general commentary on it. And she said, I was acquitted because, number one, I was innocent. And then she said, number two, I was acquitted because I had competent counsel. And there is a real disparity. She made it a point to say that, we need to take a look at the criminal justice system and say, do people have equal access to justice and competent counsel as they should have? I guess it's yes and no. Public defenders' offices are often underfunded because our causes aren't popular, because we defend criminals. And it's not thought of that we defend the people who are accused or alleged to have committed a crime, and that's just due to media perception, and that you're already convicted before you even step into one foot into the courtroom on your first day of trial, before you picked a jury, because everybody knows about the case, and that what a public defender is. Let's just start there for starters. A public defender is what is guaranteed to you under the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution. It is the right to counsel. Now, what guarantees somebody who can't afford counsel is case law. It's Gideon versus Wainwright, and says that no matter what financial means that you have, that it is an absolute right, and that you do have that right to have an attorney at all relevant stages of the proceeding. And obviously a relevant stage would be trial, and that is where our job is derived out of. And as a public defender, we represent clients that are indigent. So what does indigent mean? Indigent is a fancy word in legalese for poor people, people who don't have financial means. I think it's often curious that when I talk to people who don't do my job, or whether they be my own family members who don't quite understand or why I do what I do. Why would I want to defend those people, that are the scum of the earth, they're criminals? And especially in my case, because I'm on the sexual assault team, I defend people who are accused of child molestation or a sexual assault on an adult, so rapists in their mind. So why would I want to do that? And it's I think more imperative for everybody to, I think, realize that it's not those people or those criminals, or it couldn't happen to me. I think that's a very, naive attitude to have, because, yes, when I was doing just general felony work, which would be like a burglary on a Walmart, for example, which would be a possession of a stolen vehicle, kids out joyriding, or 20-year-olds out joyriding. Can your family afford to hire an attorney? Yeah, probably for a case like that, or if it's obviously a misdemeanor like a DUI, can your family afford it? If you're the average, middle class family that has at least a little bit of money saved away, yeah, you probably can't afford to hire an attorney. Are you getting better representation? That's a whole nother subject that I'll talk about at another time. But once you get to the stage of where I'm at in my career and where others on my team are also, or whether it's a murder, things get a little different. Those cases are pretty complex. They require sometimes more than one expert. They require psychiatrists, psychologists, all kinds of different forensic people who could be involved. And that's very costly. That is something that is a tremendous burden on a family. And what people would think of as a public defender in terms of whether or not you're defending a sexual assault or murder case is that, it could be you. That these cases cost a lot of money when you think about going to private counsel who's going to bill you for time, bill you for motion writing, bill you for research, bill you for trial preparation and actual trial time. And none of this is at all guaranteeing you, a verdict of not guilty, which is the ultimate goal at the end of the day. I've heard of from clients and that they've been quoted prices on a sexual assault case for anywhere ranging from 50 grand all the way up to, on a big, huge count case, over 100 grand. And, I don't know about you, but I am a public defender. I couldn't afford that. And if, heaven forbid, I was accused of doing something like that, that it would be a tremendous burden on my family. So I guess it's a little naive to think that, it couldn't happen to me. It couldn't happen to us. That's not going to ever, be me. I don't need to worry about that because, a lot of what I think the misperception is that, that they are these scummy people that are out doing heinous things. But really, there's a lot of clients that I have that are in the exact same situation that you currently would think that you would be in if something like this happened. Like, how did this happen to me? I can't believe this. And for example, there's a client that I've had in the past that like the typical 20-year-old who's in college somewhere or is in college in Las Vegas and has people over at the house because parents are out of town and there's underage drinking going on and girls are called over there and then one thing leads to another and there's an allegation of a sexual assault that happens. That's not uncommon from the everyday experience. I think that's something that's relatable that the public, probably maybe needs just to know a little bit more about that it isn't, just the typical scumbag that's out there that they like to, say is out there. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. That it is people that find themselves in situations or in unfortunate circumstances where, that they were with a child and an allegation was made and it was a false accusation and it is an attention-getting scheme, or it could be a variety of things. Could it also be that they're a horrible monster? Absolutely. There's nobody here, not here to tell you that I am only defending clients who are innocent. I think that would be a pretty silly statement to make. I think any criminal defense attorney, whether they're a public defender or their private counsel, will tell you absolutely that we do, the majority of our clients that we do represent probably have done something, and not all of them are innocent. But then that leads into, well then, how do you represent somebody who has committed a crime and you still have to go forward in representing them? And that is the perfect way to end this video and have you guys comment below, because I'm going to go through on my next video a list of frequently asked questions that I get all the time from my family members, from people that I meet just in random places, and I'm going to go through those and if there's something that you want to know about that in particular, I would love for you to comment below and let me know, and I'm happy to address it. But I think that the first and foremost question is that we get all the time is, how do you do this when you know that they have committed a crime? And how do you go forward in representing somebody who you know has committed a crime? So with that, I will see you guys next time, and stay tuned to the Wolf's Den for more videos, trial coverage, and commentary. All right, thanks guys. See you later.